Welcome to the Explainer. And today, oh boy, we've got a showdown between two of India's absolute banking titans, ICICI Bank and the State Bank of India. We're going to break down the numbers, put them head-to-head on the metrics that really matter, and figure out who comes out on top.
So when you pit these two giants against each other, who actually wins when you look at the hard data? Is it the private sector powerhouse or the state-backed behemoth? That is the big question we are tackling in this explainer.
In one corner, you've got the agile private challenger, ICICI Bank, really known for its sharp efficiency and modern way of doing things. And in the other corner, the absolute titan, State Bank of India, or SBI, a bank that's practically a symbol of stability and has a reach that touches every corner of the country.
All right, let's get right into it. Before we dig into the nitty-gritty of performance, you just have to appreciate the incredible scale we're talking about here. These aren't just any banks. They're basically pillars of the entire Indian economy.
And wow, this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? The first thing that jumps out is the massive difference in size. SBI's balance sheet is nearly 3 times larger than ICICI Bank's. That gives it a kind of presence that's just unmatched. But, as we're about to see, size isn't always everything.
So how do we actually judge this fight fairly? Well, we need to use the same secret metrics that all the professional analysts use. You can think of these as the official rules of the game, the key numbers that tell the real story of how healthy a bank is.
First up is return on assets, or ROA. Now, this one is super important. It's not just about how much profit a bank makes, right? It's about how good they are at squeezing a profit out of everything they own, their assets. It's the ultimate efficiency score. Next up, the CASA ratio. Sounds complicated, but it's not. All this tells you is how much of a bank's money comes from a really cheap source, us. It's the money in all our regular current and savings accounts. So a higher CASA ratio means the bank's main raw material, money, is cheaper for them. And last but not least, the gross non-performing asset, or NPA ratio. Think of this as the bank's report card on its loans. It's basically the percentage of loans that have gone sour. And for this one, lower is always better. It's a huge sign of smart lending. All right, ding ding. Let's get to round one. Here, we're focusing on profitability and where they get their money from. This is the classic battle between pure efficiency and the cost of doing business.
And whoa, look at this. This is where the story gets really interesting. Despite being so much smaller, ICICI Bank's ROA is more than double SBI's. I mean, think about that. For every 100 rupees of assets they have, ICICI is squeezing out twice as much profit.
So yeah, the numbers here are just crystal clear. This is a total knockout for ICICI. It's not just a little better, it's way more efficient at its core job of turning assets into profit.
Okay, so what about the cost of their funds? Now this is where things get much tighter. Both of these banks are incredible at getting low-cost deposits from people like you and me. It's a real testament to their brand power. But even here, one of them has a tiny little edge.
So while they're both powerhouses here, ICICI just edges it out. It's a super narrow victory, but hey, a win is a win. That slightly better deposit mix gives them a small advantage. Round one goes decisively to ICICI.
All right, on to round two. You know, making a profit is one thing, but if you're taking on a ton of bad risk to get there, that's a recipe for disaster. This round is all about quality and risk management. This is where you find out who's built to last.
And wow, you can see a huge gap here. Remember, with NPAs, lower is always better. ICICI is sitting pretty with a ratio of 2.8%, while SBI's is quite a bit higher at 4.9%. That is a really significant difference.
I mean, this is another really clear win for ICICI. A lower NPA ratio just screams better risk management and smarter lending. Now, to be fair, part of SBI's national duty is to lend to all sorts of sectors. But when you look at the raw numbers, ICICI's loan book is just plain healthier.
Okay, let's talk about the safety buffer. This is the capital adequacy ratio, or CAR. It's basically the bank's cushion for a rainy day to absorb unexpected losses. And while both are safe, one has a much bigger cushion. Look at ICICI's. That's a very strong number.
And that bigger buffer is a massive advantage for ICICI. It doesn't just make it safer. It gives it the fuel to grow down the line without having to go ask for more money. So round two, that goes to ICICI as well.
Okay, we've gone through the rounds, we've looked at profit, funding, and risk. Now it's time to step back and look at the final scorecard. Let's bring it all together.
And the scorecard, well, it tells a pretty one-sided story, doesn't it? On pretty much every key metric that analysts live and breathe by. Quality, profitability, funding, capital, ICICI takes the prize. SBI's huge, undisputed trump card, its incredible size and reach, which gives it a kind of systemic stability that's good for the whole economy.
Okay, so what does all this mean for you as a potential investor? The numbers are one thing, but how do you actually use this information? Let's get into the investment playbook.
So a pro analyst would look at it like this. Step 1, quality. ICICI is the clear winner. Step 2, growth prospects. Again, looks like ICICI has the edge. Valuation. Well, they're both kind of priced for what they are. And then risk, this is where it gets interesting. You've got lower business risk with ICICI, but you've got that implicit government safety net with SBI. Two very different kinds of risk profiles. So how could you play this? Well, if you want a piece of both pies, you could try a balanced approach. Maybe a bigger slice for ICICI to capture that superior quality and growth, but keep a good chunk in SBI for that rock-solid stability and its potential as a value turnaround story.
And so we'll leave you with this final thought. You've got the analyst's playbook now. The question is, what kind of investor are you? What matters more to you? Chasing that proven high-grade quality? Or betting on the gentle giant's value and its potential for a turnaround?